Since the day you were born, you have been taught to worship 5 false gods. You have been trained to be a faithful servant to 5 great tyrants. Your eyes, your ears, your sense of touch, taste, and smell, these 5 senses have dictated the boundaries of your world. They present you with a ceaseless parade of so-called facts, and you have been taught to bow before them as the ultimate reality. They show you an empty bank account, and you call it truth. They present you with a doctor's diagnosis, and you call it fact. They echo the sound of a door slammed shut, and you call it the end. This world, the world of Caesar, built upon the evidence of your senses, feels solid, unchangeable, absolute. And as long as you grant it that power, you will forever remain its subject, a creature of circumstance, reacting to a reality that is imposed upon you. But I am here tonight to reveal a deeper truth, a law that operates behind the curtain of what your senses declare as real. Tonight, you will learn not just why you must ignore your current reality, but how to do it. You will learn the art of turning your back on the facts of Caesar, to give your full, undivided allegiance to the truth of your desire. So if your senses are not the source of truth, then what is? The answer is the very power you have been using every moment of your life. Though perhaps unconsciously, it is your own wonderful human imagination. This is the deeper truth. Your imagination is not a fantasy. It is the one and only creative reality. It is, in fact, God in action. The world that you perceive with your 5 senses, the world of so-called hard facts, is nothing more than a mirror. It is a world of shadows, reflecting that which you hold to be true within your own consciousness. It does not create, it only reveals what has already been created within you. This is why ignoring the reality of your senses is not an act of delusion. It is an act of profound wisdom. It is refusing to be hypnotized by a reflection in the mirror. It is turning away from the shadow to deal directly with the light that casts it. The great secret to living in the end, therefore, is to cultivate a serene and unwavering assumption. It is the quiet, unshakable conviction that your desire is already an established, accomplished fact within the only world that matters, the world of your imagination. Notice my words, not that it will be, but that it is now. And the feeling that accompanies this assumption is not a loud, forced emotion. It is the natural, subtle mood that would be yours if your desire were already a simple fact of your life. Ask yourself, if I already were the person I want to be, how would I feel right now? Not ecstatic, perhaps, but a quiet satisfaction, a sense of normalcy, a peaceful knowing. This is the state you must learn to occupy. It is a fundamental shift of identity. You cease to be the person who is seeking, and you become, in your inner world, the person who is. For if you can successfully assume this new state of being, the mirror of the world has no choice but to reflect your new face. Now that you understand the principle that your imagination is the only true reality, let us learn the art of using this power with discipline and with love. This is the practical method, the how-to for ignoring the world of shadows. First, you must define your end with absolute clarity. What is it you truly desire? Do not be vague. If you desire wealth, what does wealth represent to you? Is it security? Is it freedom? Is it the ability to purchase a specific home? Define the end result with precision. Second, construct a single, simple scene. This scene must be an event which takes place after your desire has been fulfilled. It is the consequence of your wish being a fact. If you desire a promotion, do not imagine the interview. Instead, imagine a friend shaking your hand and saying, "Congratulations on your new role." If you desire a new home, do not imagine searching for it. Instead, imagine yourself standing in the living room, feeling the keys in your palm, and thinking to yourself, it is so wonderful to finally be home. Keep this scene short, vivid, and personal. This is your destination. Third, enter the state akin to sleep. The most potent time to impress your subconscious mind is in that drowsy, lucid state just before you drift off to sleep. We call this state akin to sleep. Relax your body completely. Let go of the day. Breathe deeply and allow your conscious, analytical mind to become still. You are now at the gateway to your deeper self. And fourth, immerse yourself in the scene. Once you are in that relaxed state, bring your predetermined scene to life. But you must not watch it like a movie on a screen. No, that is a common mistake. You must be in the scene from the first person point of view. If your scene is the handshake, truly feel the pressure of the other hand in yours. If you are in your new home, touch the walls, feel the texture of the sofa. Engage all your imaginal senses. What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you perhaps even smell? Make this inner world so real, so vivid, that it crowds out all awareness of the room you are physically in. And most importantly, feel the emotion, the quiet satisfaction, the profound relief, the feeling of naturalness. Took this short, feeling tone scene over and over again, like a gentle lullaby. Do not strain. Do not force. Simply relax into the feeling and fall asleep in the state of your wish fulfilled. If you do this, you have planted a seed in the only soil that creates reality. Perhaps you are thinking, this sounds beautiful in theory, Neville, but is it truly possible? Let me share with you a wonderfully simple yet profound illustration of this very law in action. There was a lady who held a strong desire for a particular apartment. For her, this specific place represented a new beginning, a sanctuary of peace and security. She deeply craved. However, by all outward appearances, it was completely unavailable. The apartment was occupied with no indication it would be otherwise. Now, she could have succumbed to the tyranny of her senses. She could have focused on the facts, the current tenant, the impossibility of it all. But instead, she chose to ignore that reality. She chose to truly live in the end. Several times each day, and most importantly, as she drifted into that lovely state akin to sleep, she didn't just vaguely visualize the apartment. No, she felt herself living within its walls. In her imagination, she walked its rooms, not as a hopeful visitor, but as its confident resident. She arranged her own furniture. She felt the textures of the fabrics. She smelled the aroma of coffee brewing in her kitchen. She even felt the cool, solid metal of the keys to that front door nestled in the palm of her hand. She offered no petitions to any external power. She did not strive or scheme in the outer world. She simply quietly and persistently assumed the state of already being there. And the result? Within a remarkably brief period, through a bridge of incidents she could never have consciously devised, the apartment became hers. The current tenant had an unforeseen need to relocate. The opportunity unfolded, not as a startling miracle, but as a perfectly natural, almost inevitable sequence of events. She did not battle for it. She did not fight reality. She simply inhabited a new reality within herself until the world had no choice but to conform. The story of that woman reveals the law perfectly. Her imaginal act at night was the conception, but it was her quiet, persistent assumption during the day that was the gestation period which brought her desire to birth. And here lies the final, most important secret to mastering this art. The imaginative act before you sleep is immensely powerful. It is the moment you plant the seed, but the seed must be watered throughout the day. How do you do this? By learning to think from the end, not merely of the end. There is a world of difference between the two. To think of the end is to stand here, desiring something over there. It implies separation. It is the state of wanting. To think from the end is to mentally stand at your destination and view the world from that perspective. It is the state of having. It is the state of being. Throughout your day, you must consciously practice this. Ask yourself frequently, if my desire were already a fact, what would my inner attitude be right now? And then dare to assume that attitude. If you desired financial security, you would not feel fear. You would feel ease. Assume that ease now. If you desired to be healed, you would not feel despair. You would feel gratitude and relief. Assume that relief now. This is not a battle. It is a gentle but firm returning of your attention to your glorious assumption. When the world presents you with contrary evidence, a shadow from your past, you simply label it old news and return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This persistent inner conversation, this quiet allegiance to your unseen reality. This is what it truly means to live in the end. It is the feeling of naturalness. And when your new state feels completely natural, the world must and will conform. Do not let this be mere knowledge. Make it your living experience. Choose the reality you desire to embody. And from this moment forward, live from that end as though it were already true. For it is already true in the only reality that matters. Share with us not what you are seeking, but what new state you are now assuming to be true. Let this place be a testament to our creative power. And now let us go into the silence.